you expecting a baby right now and are planning to raise your baby to be bilingual, trilingual, or multilingual? In this video, I'll share 5 things you can do before your baby is born during the pregnancy stage to lay the groundwork for future success. Best of all, these are things you can begin to implement today, right now. Keep watching. Hi there, my name is Kayi. I'm a mum of 2 trilingual children, chartered translator, and language coach for parents raising bilingual or trilingual children. My book Bilingual and Trilingual Parenting 101 has helped thousands of families online. Link down below if you're curious. We've been on this multilingual parenting journey for almost a decade. Actually, my son turns 9 this week. Send a birthday message to him down in the comments. He'll be really happy. So, trust me, the things you do before the baby arrives can save you stress and guesswork, setting you up for success. Look, I'm speaking from experience here. When we began our journey back in 2016, my husband and I didn't really know what we were doing. To give you some context, my husband is Russian while I'm Chinese. I was born in Shanghai and grew up in Hong Kong. While I speak both Mandarin and Cantonese, I consider Cantonese to be my first language. As soon as we knew that we were expecting our first child back in 2016, we kind of decided that we would raise them to be trilingual, but we weren't sure how to go about it or even which languages to focus on. That's why in this video, I'm sharing with you 5 super powerful tips that I wish someone had shared with me back in 2016. Tips that you can implement right away while you still have the time and energy to do so before your precious baby arrives and demands your full attention. So grab a pen and notebook, a cup of tea, and maybe a biscuit or 2, and let's dive in. Tip 1. Create your family language plan before your brain goes into sleep-deprived mode. First thing first, make a plan. No, it doesn't have to be set in stone, but yes, it will give you clarity and serve as a North Star to help you stay focused and grounded. As I mentioned earlier, we didn't even know which languages to use with our child when we embarked on this journey. So one of the first things you need to do is determine which languages you would like your child to acquire, also known as the target language or languages. You need to think about which parent is going to speak which language to the child. Are you going to use one parent, one language, minority language at home, or the time and place strategy? And if these terms sound confusing to you, don't worry. I knew nothing about them either when I was pregnant with our first child. Go watch my completely free video course, which will explain all the basics of raising a multilingual child and guide you through the process of creating a custom-made plan for your family with my free downloadable template, linked down below. So be sure to check it out if you are new to this whole thing. And if you want someone to walk you through it and tailor it to your family, that's exactly what I do in my 2-week coaching program. My clients have told me that their plans were game-changing. They finally knew exactly what to do day to day. If that's something you are interested in, click the link to my coaching program to find out more. Now, while having a plan is all well and good, it's not enough. You need to take action. What do I mean by that? Well, tip number 2 is all about something simple you can start doing right now before your baby is even born. Tip number 2, start talking to your baby now. Yes, even in the womb. One of the questions I get the most is this: how soon can I introduce the target language? Should I wait until they're older? Should I wait until they're in kindergarten? What's the deal? And my answer is always this: you can absolutely introduce the target language from day 1, the day your child is born. But actually, that's not even the full picture. I'll go further and say this: you can start introducing the target language before your child is even born. Experts have established that around 25 weeks of pregnancy, babies can hear sounds from outside the womb. And studies show they can actually differentiate between languages before they are even born. Okay, but you might be wondering, what does introducing the target language actually mean? It sounds complicated, but it's actually really simple. All you need to do is start talking to your baby now, in your target language, which is typically your mother tongue, although that's not always the case. And don't limit yourself to talking. Unleash your inner karaoke queen or king. Sing like nobody's listening. And the good news is your unborn baby will not judge you. They will be your biggest fan. Pick up a book and start reading to your baby bump. Tell them about your day. Tell them how much you love them and how much you look forward to meeting them. In the target language, that is. It's literally as simple as that. It might feel a bit silly at first, talking to someone you can't see, but remember, you're not just talking to yourself. You're building familiarity and comfort with the sound patterns of the language before your baby even arrives. And beyond the language benefits, you'll be building that beautiful parent and child bond. Your baby will absolutely be able to feel that love coming from you. Oh, and of course, this tip isn't just for expectant mums. Let's not exclude the dads. You can and indeed should be doing the same in your target language. Your baby will love hearing your voice too. So essentially, tip number 2 is all about creating language immersion from the parents. But in tip number 3, let's go beyond that. Let's really amp up that language immersion in other ways. By the way, just a quick shout out. If you're enjoying this video so far, please smash that like button and subscribe to my channel. It means a lot to me and will help other awesome parents discover my content as well. Thank you so much.
Please subscribe.
Tip number 3, prepare your home for language immersion. Look, let me give it to you straight. You will have heard this before, but seriously, no amount of preparation can truly prepare you for the shock of having a newborn in your life. You have no idea what sleep deprivation or being time poor really means until you have an actual baby who absolutely demands all your time and attention. That's why I really believe that if you're serious about raising a multilingual child, it's a really good idea to take advantage of the pregnancy period to set everything up as much as possible. It doesn't have to be perfect, but every little bit helps. I remember visiting a Russian family while I was pregnant with my first baby and seeing how they labeled all major household objects with little Russian stickers like divan on a sofa, a stole on a table, and so on. I remember thinking back then that, wow, that's pretty full on. But seriously, looking back, I wish my husband and I had done the same. So tip 3 is all about preparing your home for language immersion. This is about making the language visible and immersive in your home. You want your child to grow up surrounded by it, like the air we breathe, so to speak. It can be things like labeling daily objects in your target language or languages like our Russian friends, putting up language posters or printouts, and number 3, my favorite, stocking up on books. Yeah, so I just wanted to show you guys some of the books we have. So here are some Russian books. That's a book from the library in English that Alina chose. And these are some Chinese books. Well, that's English, but that's a Chinese book. Because nothing beats reading together for language development, in my opinion. Just a quick shameless plug. My sister and I have created a series of bilingual picture books aimed at babies and young children. It's beautifully illustrated and introduces 120 common words in 2 languages. And they also come with audio guides in case you're not fluent in the language yourself. It's the ideal first book for any bilingual family. Links for the books are in the description box below if you're interested. Okay, so now let's talk about digital media. For some families, language immersion might also mean subscribing to TV services in your target language or buying some language learning apps. Although personally, I prefer paper-based learning for very young children, but yeah, definitely explore all possible options before your baby arrives. But what if you need to work on your own language proficiency? Maybe you are a second-generation immigrant, or you're not a native speaker of your chosen target language. Which brings us to tip number 4. Tip number 4, start your own language prep. There are several reasons why you might want to do some language prep at this stage while you have the time and energy. Scenario 1. Maybe you're not 100% fluent in the language you want to pass on, or you're feeling a bit rusty. Now is the perfect time to level up. Scenario 2. You and your partner have different first languages, like me and my husband. Trust me, it always helps to know some basics of your partner's language. I've made a whole video on this subject, link down below. It's a must watch if you and your partner speak different languages and you're raising a bilingual or multilingual child. When my husband and I were expecting our first child, even though we didn't know exactly how we were going to raise him or her to be trilingual, I somehow decided that it would be a good idea for me to improve my Russian so that I could understand more of the conversations my husband would have with our future child, and maybe even to take part in those conversations. I dug up my old Russian textbooks and started having weekly conversations with a lovely tutor on italki to sharpen my skills. And I've seen other parents do the same, like British dad Carl Baker, whom I interviewed a while ago. He learned Mandarin so he could speak with his daughters alongside his wife. If you want to watch the full interview, you'll find a link in the description box below as well. Honestly, it's so worth it, even if you just learn the basics of your partner's language. It shows your child that languages are worth the effort, and you will be able to join in more of their conversations. And in the first scenario where you speak the target language but aren't 100% fluent or are feeling a bit rusty, pregnancy is the perfect time to brush up your language skills as well. So yeah, italki could help, especially when it comes to conversational skills. However, I also highly recommend reading books and watching TV shows or movies in the target language to expand your vocabulary and create language immersion in your life. Take myself as an example. While I speak Mandarin fluently, I don't consider myself a native speaker, but since I'm a professional translator and I'm raising my kids to speak Mandarin, I have to constantly improve my language skills. I find that pushing myself to consume more Chinese media, Chinese books, and just content in general really helps. But honestly, doing all this on your own can feel exhausting and isolating, which brings us to tip number 5 if you want to stay sane and happy during this process. Tip number 5, make friends with families doing the same thing. Multilingual parenting can feel lonely if you don't have anyone around you who gets it. So start finding your tribe now. Join online groups, go to local cultural events, meet families who are also raising bilingual or trilingual kids. When you're surrounded by people who share your goals, you're more likely to stick with it. And your child will see that speaking more than one language is normal, not different. It's also super useful to start hanging out with other families who speak your specific target languages. Take us as an example. I find it really beneficial when my children get to hang out with other Chinese-speaking kids who have Chinese-speaking parents, even if the kids interact among themselves in English. Because, well, we all live in England, it's unavoidable. It's still super useful for the children to see for themselves that, people other than mommy and daddy actually speak Chinese too. And the kids also speak Chinese, not just me. So start doing some research on Facebook, for example. Try searching, French families in New York or something like that. And I'm pretty sure that you're bound to find something. And of course, subscribe to my channel and my newsletter, link down below, to be part of the Multilingual Family Hub community of like-minded parents. So there you go, create your plan, talk to your baby, prep your home, improve your own skills, and find your tribe. If you do these 5 things before your baby's born, you'll be setting yourself and your child up for success. But what about the next step? What do you do once your baby is actually born? Check out the next video where I share 9 tips for raising a bilingual or trilingual baby right from day 1.